Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol live on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty in studio on this Red Friday, October 25th, 2013. Right now we're going to talk some college football with Kansas head coach Charlie Weis, who joins us every Friday morning just after 7 o'clock. Coach, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Now, do we get a chance to chime in on this defensive nickname before we get going?
Absolutely. We wish that you would, please.
Okay. Now, because I just heard about the Red Storm, and I knew you, St. John, you were all over that one.
Right.
But I think they were really close there. I think you should call it Red Swarm, not Red Storm. The swarming defense. You know, I think that they were right on track with that one.
I think you got it.
I like that.
I think that's
I like
it.
that a lot.
The Red
Swarm.
And see, we could do a T-shirt out of that, too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, there you go. I solved your problems. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on to KU.
Thank you very much, Coach. I like that. Red Swarm. Coach Charlie Weis weighing in on the very important topic of a nickname for the Chiefs defense. All right, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the performance last week. We saw Montel Cozart on the field, and you guys got out to a fast start, end up losing the game to Oklahoma 34-19. But overall, how do you feel that your team played against the Sooners?
Well, what's happened here is that we're halfway through the year. We're at the point now, with the exception of the Texas Tech game, you know, we have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter, and there's been a breakdown in some facet of our team. Last week we were pretty good on defense most of the game, but special teams was probably our crummiest performance of the year. And although we ran the ball very, very well against a good defense in Oklahoma, our passing game was inept. And I think that, you know, if you're gonna win football games, not just be in them in the fourth quarter, you got to be solid on special teams, and you got to be able to throw the ball.
When it comes to those special teams, you had a couple of punts blocked in that game, and it seemed like those blocks came. And I think if memory serves correctly, maybe a similar one happened against Rice, where guys just kind of ran right through those personal protectors for the punter. Is there anything, as you look at that in the formation or anything like that, that you guys can tweak or need to tweak to prevent that from happening?
Well, actually, the biggest problem was that the punter was too close to the three guys that stand in front of him. You know, that was the bigger problem, because even on the first punt, when there was no pressure, he almost hit it right into the back of him. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we moved him back some, and we have those three guys being a little bit more aggressive instead of catching those guys that are coming to him, stepping up to him. But, you know, I think we resolved that problem.
One of the strengths that you had in that game, especially in the first half, was your ability to run the football. I would assume that that's something that it's a major focus to try to replicate this weekend.
Yeah, I'd said after the TCU game that, fellas, the one thing we have to be able to do, if we can't run the ball with power, then we really got nothing going on. And we took it right to them, and that carried us for a half. But I think that, you know, still at the end of the day, you know, we're always going to come out there and try to establish running the football. But if you're going to win football games, you have to be able to throw and catch.
Charlie Weis is our guest. I mentioned that Montel Cozart got some playing time, had a couple of snaps, and he has increased his workload in practice. We expect to see him more on the field. How has he done so far this week with more on his plate?
Well, the good thing was, you know, he got his feet wet last week. Oklahoma's not the game you want to have your first, you know, major league career. You know, here you're starting off against Oklahoma's defense as your first game. But we got him in enough where now this week he's more comfortable with what we're doing, and we've given him the whole package instead of just giving him a small package. You know, last week he just had a group of plays that he was responsible for, but now this week he's responsible for the game plan. So I think he'll play this week. You know, Jake will start. He'll play this week, but when he plays, we'll have many more options to use with him this week.
How's he done in terms of absorbing all of that new information?
You know, mentally he's been pretty sharp the whole time. You know, right from when he got here this summertime right on through, he's progressed really nice. He's a very sharp kid. You know, he's a very sharp kid. He's got good leadership about him, and he doesn't look at all overwhelmed by what we've been giving him.
You know, Coach, another one of the bright spots I wanted to bring up about last week's game. I mentioned the running game, but we like to highlight some of the local kids. And Darian Miller is an interesting story because he had a great freshman year, but obviously was getting into some things off the field or whatever, and had to go and put things back together. He did that for you, and he had a really nice day running the ball this past weekend as well. Could you just talk about maybe his, what he's brought back to the team and maybe the transformation he's made as a young man?
Well, let's talk about two things, and they're both really good. Okay, first of all, he brings a nice change of pace to what James does because Darian's much quicker than James is. I mean, he's very, very quick, and he's not as big as James. People think that he doesn't run with power. That's not true. I mean, he'll go ahead and slam it up in there, and he can cut on a dime. He's still really rounded into form now. And second of all, when I got here this year, and when we got him back this year, and he and I sat down when we started this whole process. Okay, you really don't know, which way it's going to go, but he's been absolutely wonderful off the field. I mean, he's good in academics. Okay, he's been, good everywhere he goes. People have nothing but good things to say about the kid. So he figured it out. Give him credit now. He figured it out, and I mean, I like being around the kid. He's a pleasure to be around.
And something else that can help him on the field is consistency in the offensive line. We're starting to see that in the depth chart. How much is that going to help Kansas improve down the stretch?
Well, as I said all along, I thought that our team, because of the transformation we've gone through this year with this volume of new players, I thought we'd be playing our best football at the end of the year and not the beginning of the year. And I think that now that we finally kind of settled in to who's doing what, we know who the five starters are. I think that the continuity will just continue to improve.
Charlie Weis, head coach of Kansas, is our guest. All right, Coach, let's talk about this next matchup. It is against Baylor, a top 10 team. We've seen them hit 70 points 4 times this year, but we also saw Kansas State hold them to 35 points, so we know it could be done. When you watch them on film, why are they so good offensively?
Well, all those 70-point games are all at home. They've all those big number games are all at their place. The one time they've been on the road, they're actually in Manhattan trailing in the fourth quarter. So that's the game I'm counting on because if they go put up 70, we can't play in that track meet. We won't have a chance if that's the type of game we play. But the thing they are, besides being talented, which they are, and well coached, which they are. Okay, the two things they do offensively is they snap the ball at a very, very, very fast pace, number one, and they stretch the field horizontally as much as anyone I've ever seen in college football. By that I mean they'll have a receiver 2 yards from one side and 2 yards from the other sideline, making you have to cover the entire width of the field, and that's very, very unusual.
What's interesting, I think, Coach, when you look at the Big 12 stats, I think everybody, if you're told, hey, Baylor's number one in the Big 12 in scoring offense, that wouldn't surprise anybody. But if you told people that right now Baylor's number one in scoring defense, that would surprise a lot of people, that they're giving up 16 points a game. And I know they didn't play the greatest non-con schedule, but they gave up 7 points to a league opponent last week. How much of that is the defense? How much of that is that their offense gets you out of what you want to do defensively if they start putting up scores in a hurry?
Well, it's both those factors. You hit it right on the head. Okay, number one, they have a bunch of seniors playing, and they have a lot of experience, and they're much better than they were at any time last year. But what's happened now is that they've gotten up so big in so many games, they have good edge pressure on their defense. They can go too deep at the defensive end position and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So these guys are allowed to do is don't worry about the running game. Just pin your ears back and go. And put pressure on the quarterback. So usually they rush 4 guys and they sit there and play cover 4 and just count on the edge pressure coming because you get teams to be one-dimensional because the score is so big. If you want to try to play, people are throwing it all the time and it just doesn't bode well. I think that their defense is playing solid, and I think that the offensive point production that they're getting has allowed the defense to play the game a little differently than most other people do.
One of the things that I know that your defensive coordinator, Dave Campo, said earlier this year about that he learned about the Big 12 is that with these fast break offenses, you got to be too deep on the defensive side of the ball. I'm guessing you can't sub a whole lot when they snap as fast as they do through the course of one series. So how do you rotate your guys on defense when you face an offense like this?
Well, you'll see it. You'll see it'll come at selected spots, and it'll be a mass substitution. Mm-hmm. Like there won't be too many 1-for-1s during a drive because the ball snapped too quick. Mm-hmm. You know, if the one thing the referees have to do, if they substitute personnel, they have to allow you to substitute personnel. Okay, so that's one way you could do it. But normally they'll put one personnel group out there. Like their number one personnel group is 11, okay, which is one back, one tight end and 3 wide receivers. So they'll go through a whole drive with that personnel grouping, not allowing you to get fresh people on the field. But I think that we've practiced this thing for quite some time here now, and I think that the tempo of the game won't be that gets us. But the substitutions, you'll see it'll be a whole group of guys going at once. It probably won't just be one person.
Coach, how is Tony Pearson progressing as he looks to get back on the football field?
Yeah,
soon?
He's progressing nicely. He'll be a game time decision, but he might have a chance to help us this week.
A couple of other guys that you've been missing since the TCU game are Ben Heaney and Tadarian Johnson on the defensive side, and that's one of those things where you have other guys that have played at a high level in those positions, but if they're not available, does that kind of go to that depth that you're talking about right there, though?
Well, actually, because they didn't play last week, I think the team's ready to play without him. I think Tony's a little different. Like last week when Ben went out and we moved Jake in to the Mike linebacker, Jake really played a great game at Mike linebacker, and Tadarian had been our backup nose, and we put Ty McKinney in there behind Keon, and he had one of his better performances. So I think that the defense was more better suited to handle that. Tony, we don't have another Tony. I mean, we have one of those. So if Tony were able to play, that would help us tremendously.
And my final question for you, Coach, when it comes to that high-speed offense of Baylor, do you have a number circled, like we need to hold them under this many plays? Because it seems like that's the big buzzword with these high-paced offense, high-paced attacks now is how many plays do they get up? How many snaps do they get off? Do you guys have like a target? We need to hold them under this many snaps for Saturday's game?
I think more importantly, we'd like to keep their offense on the sideline as much as we could. Mm-hmm. So I think that rather than how many plays we hold them to, I think the more we hold the ball, the less they're on the field. And I think that gives our defense the best chance.
Coach, thank you very much for the time. Red Swarm, that's what I'm going to throw my support behind. So thank you very much for giving us that suggestion.
I figured I'd throw that little tidbit in for you.
No, we like it. Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's Charlie Wise, head coach of Kansas. I do like it.
Yeah.
Because, I like Red Storm because it's St. John's Red Storm. And when I was at UMKC working for the basketball team, they used to call me, my nickname was either Red Storm or Red Dog. Do you remember there was a beer?
Yeah. I remember
Red
that.
Dog that was very popular for a while. So either Red Dog or Red Storm. And so that is near and dear to my heart. So the play on that is Red Swarm, and it's a swarming defense. I like it. You could put that on a T-shirt. You could do a number of things with it.
They are a swarming defense, too.
What do you think?
You could have like a bunch of like bumblebees with jersey numbers on them flying around.
No, jeez.
No?
Look at Jake's reaction. Jake? Please put yourself on the Jake cam and give your response to Nate's idea for a T-shirt.
It's a swarm.
Bumblebees?
I don't know. What else?
Where's Swartz? I hear it.
He's back there.
Are you booing Red Swarm?
What else
Bumblebees?
swarms? What else is a swarm? Don't bees like hornets?
Yeah, man, it could be like all kinds of different things that sting you. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some hornets, some wasps.
The FBI.
Oh yeah, they swarm you. Yeah.
Federal boob inspector.
Yeah. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about. Well, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Chiefs.
Man, just talk Chiefs, will you?
Undefeated.
You see this jersey I got on, man? Talk Chiefs.
Against the Browns. We can talk about the Chiefs. We can talk about the Tigers. We can talk about whatever you want. We could also talk about Nate Bukaty and bumblebees. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot.
Kansas coach Charlie Weiss's appearance on the Border Patrol is brought to you by Verizon. With NFL from Verizon, stay connected to your team with live NFL games Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights, NFL Network, and NFL Red Zone, where you can watch every touchdown from every game on Sunday afternoons. And by Coors Light. Kick off every game with a cold one.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. But I have a very particular lack of skills. I will never be able to find you. But what I do have is $2 and a wristwatch. You can have one of them.
Hey, where's my sister? Meg! Meg? Oh, my God.
These guys are serious. Lois, Meg's dead.
Next Family Guy, viewer discretion advised.
Watch tonight at 6 on 38 The Spot.
A speeding ticket can increase your insurance rates by 22% per month for 3 years. Stacy Shaw knows the law.
I'm attorney Stacy Shaw. If you pay the ticket, you'll pay the price. Call or click today for a convenient, low-cost solution to your traffic problem.
Free is good. And free is back by popular demand. Because right now, Time Warner Cable will give you free DVR service for 6 months with the triple play, starting at $79.99 per month. For this free DVR offer, call 1-855-WANT-TWC. But this free DVR offer ends soon. Get free DVR service for 6 months with the triple play starting at $79.99 per month. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC today. Remember, offer ends soon. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Want to get your hands on some of this? Yeah, we thought so. And now's a great time to do it. During Nissan's Easy Choice sales event, choose to go further, connect better, get in easier, and get your hands on a great deal too, like 0% APR on popular models or up to $1,500 bonus cash. The choice is yours. Shop today at ChooseNissan.com.
In just 7 weeks, you could begin your new career in nursing as a certified nursing assistant. Call National American University 913-981-8700 and enroll today. The CNA Certified Nursing Assistant Program is a 7-week course. Think of it. In just 7 weeks, you'll complete your training, receive your certificate, and begin your new career in nursing. Call National American University 913-981-8700 and enroll today.
In the dusk of October's Eve, when the turning of leaves we do perceive, come tales from the Simpsons past. Tales to make the horrors last, of ghosts and goblins and ghouly things and scary feelings that they bring. 38 The Spot has opened the door to tales from the Treehouse of Horror. Watch at 6:30 and 7 to see The Simpsons at their most spooky.
If and when I ever get the chance to go skydiving, I think this is the way to do it.
The only way for me to describe this video is bizarre. You're about to see what's probably the most heartwarming video of the day.
What the heck is going on here?
I want you guys to take a look at some awe-inspiring images.
Sharing unforgettable videos before you'll see them anywhere else. Watch right this minute. Videos first.
Watch weeknights at 7 on 38 The Spot.
Just filling out my application to become a big brother.
Doug is giving back to the community.
Once a week for a year? Can I take this kid out for a test drive, you know? Brothers. Big, little.
Now he wants to give it all back.
Leaning towards dumping my little brother.
What, did he pull a knife on you?
A knife would have been great. At least it would have ended the afternoon early.
Next, King of Queens.
See you next week. Yeehaw! Okay, 1 week down, 51 to go.
Watch today at 5 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
I'm attorney Stacy Shaw. A top-notch traffic legal team is a luxury everyone should be able to afford. Our legal fees start at just $99, so you can drive with confidence.
Luxury, convenience, freedom. Stacy Shaw knows the law.
You want to get some of this music bump in before we let you talk.
You know, I've been talking for like 30 seconds.
No way you've been talking for 30 seconds.
So did anyone hear that? Did TV hear it?
Nope.
No. I'm trying to get the sound lined up that you told me that we're coming back with 20 seconds for the segment.
Or an hour before
I like
when Aaron came in and told everybody. Whichever. What?
I like another suggestion that we got on Twitter for the Chiefs defense nickname in honor of the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. How about Clarknado?
Is that really intimidating, though?
Like Sharknado, but Clarknado. And we got like pictures of Clark Hunt on like a shark's flying around in a tornado. Yep.
Hey, I was listening. It was like the Gong Show. He gonged you.
It wasn't. It's a suggestion on Twitter. It didn't gong me. It wasn't my idea.
Was it your idea?
No.
Aaron Swartz was out at Arrowhead yesterday, and I'm glad that Aaron Swartz has a good feel for what's important and what needs to be talked about at Arrowhead Stadium, because Aaron Swartz talked to Chiefs backup quarterback Chase Daniel about the Chiefs and Mizzou both starting off 7-0.
Yeah, it's going great so far. It's hopefully keep it up, and there's a lot of excitement around here for sure.
You talked with Steven last week just about Matty Mock, and you pretty much called exactly what happened in the game. Were you impressed with what you saw?
Yeah, I was very impressed. Not only with him, but with the whole Tigers team. I mean, you lose your starting quarterback, your star player, who's arguably playing some of the best ball that's ever been played there at the quarterback position. And the next week, all they do is go and beat another top 25 team at home, and handle them pretty well, especially on offense and defense. I mean, look at almost 500 yards of offense and held them below. I think it was 170, 160 yards of total offense. So. I was definitely excited to see that, but we got a tough test coming up this week with South Carolina.
What is it about Gary Pinkel where it seems that, as Ryan Suckup said, you're going down? What is it with Gary Pinkel and these quarterbacks where it seems that he can plug guys in and there's not too much of a misstep there?
Yeah, I just think he's known for developing quarterbacks. That's sort of one of the main reasons I went to Missouri. And you look at his staff and the type of offense he brought in, and just they recruit so well at the position, and it's shown.
You've been a part of some successful teams when you're in New Orleans, and now you come here and you're off to the 7-0 start. Can you compare just the feeling of those two locker rooms, coming from New Orleans to this one, where people have been hungry for this for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, in New Orleans, it was sort of expected, year in and year out, to compete for a division title and a Super Bowl. But here, you don't really know what to expect with the whole group you've got, and we expected to be where we are right now. But it's almost like a workman-like mentality. Guys are focused on the next game, and that's it.
You know what it's like to be the next guy up. The Browns have had issues because they've had to go. Now they're to Jason Campbell. What's it like for even a guy who's on that third rung or on that third tier having to step in and start this game now?
Yeah, I mean, it's, guys like, the backups and the third-string quarterbacks, you prepare just like the starter. I mean, any good backup will tell you that. And so even though you don't get the physical reps in the week, you get the mental reps in the week. So you have to be ready for when your number's called. And hopefully when your number is called, you play well.
Finally, what happens against South Carolina this week, you think?
Well, I hope we win. That's the main thing. We'll see. I know it's our homecoming game. We have a lot of people there, a lot of black and gold, so I'm excited to see it.
Missouri hosts South Carolina on Saturday at 6 o'clock in Columbia. And then Chiefs-Browns on Sunday at Arrowhead at noon. I will be at both. And so I'll have to manage my time wisely. What do you think of that?
I think that I'll be on a very similar schedule to you. I don't have as long of a drive home from the KU-Baylor game at 6 o'clock on Saturday night, though. And I'm going to go to the game on Sunday as well. Wife's coming with me.
Are you going to be out there?
Game. Yeah. Yeah, we're going.
Also, I want to mention tomorrow I'm going to be hosting the 2013 Step Up Walk for Down Syndrome. That's going to be out at Arrowhead Stadium. If you'd like to come out there, it's going to be in Lot C. Free parking available in lots B and D. The entire event lasts from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. All kinds of great activities. How about a dance tent? We've talked about that. A dance tent will be available for you. You're going to be out there.
My son has some serious dance moves for a 3-year-old, so we'll get that rocking.
Well, according to the excellent website, it says the dance tent is available for kids and teens to dance the morning away. Also, a rock climbing wall. I'd like to see you climb a wall with that boot on your foot. Also, 3 bungee pods. Happy Faces Entertainment will be live on stage. The Swingsters with Frank Bowl. He's going to be out there. And
they usually play at Sullivan's on Saturdays, but they're going to be at this charity event.
What they call a special engagement. Inflatables, carnival games, pony rides, team mascots, stilt walkers. Jake Gutierrez will be out there on a pair of stilts. We're very excited about that. Food from KFC and more. But it's a great event. The Step Up Walk for Down Syndrome out at Lot C at Stadium. I will be emceeing that event. One of my favorite organizations, First Downs for Down Syndrome.
I'm going to be out there in support of you, and we're going to join Cece's crew, a close friend of our family's. They have a child with Down syndrome who was born last year named Cece, and we're going to walk on her team.
Well, I can't wait to see all of you, and you come out there and you can support the cause, and also then be leaving immediately from there with the boys to head down to Columbia for the game, come home, catch a couple hours of sleep, be out at Arrowhead at 9, ready to roll. What a great weekend.
What a weekend.
Undefeated football is the best. Back after this with Sean Salisbury on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Are you ready? It's time for today's Jocelyn's Trivia Blitz on 38 The Spot.
Which NFL team have the Chiefs defeated more than any other team?
Jocelyn's Jewelry, the jewelry you'll recommend to your friends and family. 435 in Antioch. Go north 1 mile. You can't miss us. 95th in Antioch.
Think you figured it out? I'll be right back with the answer.
If you've been injured in an auto accident and the insurance company tells you that you don't need a lawyer, then you need a lawyer. Peterson and Associates, protecting you.
On the border, endless enchiladas. 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 Enchiladas.
Endless enchiladas, just $8.99. Beef, chicken, or cheese with rice, beans, and endless chips and salsa at On the Border. You know you want it. Enchiladas.
Together, we make the first night of football every week, which means we make the first.
Go, Pat, go!
And the first. The first.
Whitney!
And of course, the first.
Touchdown!
Together, we make the first night of football every week. Together, we make football.
All the drama.
Passing grade? Like a C? Why don't I just get pregnant at a bus station?
All the passion.
What about babies?
What about them?
How many?
Like it's up to me.
All the action.
Look, tiny riot gear.
We de-whimsified ourselves.
Jeff is in grave danger.
I was wondering how long it would take for things to get back to normal.
Let's burn this mother down!
There are people who say, I don't get it. To which I say, you weren't there.
Experience the entertainment event of the year.
Who wants to dance?
Watch weeknights at 9 and 9:30 on 38 The Spot. Unrighteous Decade. 2 tripped out parents.
Dad, do you think I'm smart?
Oh, is that what we're going to do today? We're going to fight?
6 far out friends. 1 million groovy laughs.
That's just good TV.
Watch That 70s Show, weeknights at 8 and 8:30 on 38 The Spot.
Whether it's up high,
Phone 5,
or down low,
high 5.
we're at a wake. Solemn low five. Put your hands in the air for these 5 friends.
Give me multiple high fives.
Arthritis 5.
Freeze frame high 5.
A high 5 doesn't even cut it. High 6.
On How I Met Your Mother.
Watch weeknights starting at 10 on 38 The Spot.
Your time's up. Here's the answer to today's Jocelyn's Trivia Blitz.
Which NFL team have the Chiefs defeated more than any other team? It's the Denver Broncos with a record of 56-49.
Jocelyn's Jewelry, the jewelry you'll recommend to your friends and family. 435 in Antioch. Go north 1 mile. You can't miss us. 95th in Antioch.
Catch another Jocelyn's Trivia Blitz every weekday morning on 38 The Spot.
5th Street.
Good morning, Kansas City. I'm Aaron Swartz with your bottom of the hour update. Another packed football weekend here in KC, and it starts tomorrow right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB and Fox Sports 1 as K-State looks for their first conference win against West Virginia, kickoff 2:45. The Missouri Tigers look to go 8-0, Stephen, when South Carolina comes to Columbia without injured starting quarterback Connor Shaw. The Gamecock defense allowing fewer than 200 yards a game. Kickoff at 6 on ESPN2. Kansas hosts Baylor at 6 on ESPNU. The Bears are averaging 64 points per game. It's the Chiefs and Browns on Sunday with Jason Campbell as your starting quarterback for the Browns. Metcalf Bank Chiefs pregame show comes your way at 9 a.m. Danny and Jack after the game. Sporting Kansas City at Philadelphia and search for the Supporters Shield. That game at 2 p.m. You can hear it right on 1510 on Saturday as well. Sean Salisbury's up next. I'm Aaron Swartz on Sports Radio 810 WHB and 38 The Spot.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's a Red Friday, October 25th, 2013. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. It's time to talk NFL football with Sean Salisbury. You can follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. Hello, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys today?
Doing very well. I know you had a close eye on that game last week between the Chiefs and the Texans, 17-16. I was impressed by Case Keenum, but then the Chiefs defense, after not having any sacks in the first 3 quarters, sacked him 5 times in the fourth quarter and helped preserve the victory. What did you think of the Chiefs' 17-16 win over Houston?
Well, I was impressed because they found a way to win even when they didn't play their best. I think that's a sign of a good football team. Always have. And things aren't going exactly like you want. You're not explosive on offense on that day, and you're allowing a young quarterback to come in and keep them in a game. How do you respond? And I think it was even more impressive the fact that they had trouble getting to Keenum early and then obviously turned it on late. So there's another gear that the Kansas City Chiefs have on defense. And I was impressed. And I was impressed with Keenum. I thought he did a good job. I think he's earned another start regardless of Matchop's health. Late mentally it got him a little bit because he missed some side adjustments and blitzes that people are going to put on the offensive line but weren't. I mean, there was a 4-week that he missed when a receiver had a side adjustment, a hot read, and he didn't get it. He looked right at it but didn't throw it because obviously the game around him, when you're in that kind of a pressure game, things start to change and you start to see different things. But he missed a few things mentally that he shouldn't miss, that a veteran which you'd hope would make. But I've seen veterans miss it too. But he kept plays alive, and the vertical passing game was impressive with him in it. And to come in there and play against such a good defense and keep them in the game was pretty impressive. He threw the ball with accuracy, and I think he's earned another start for those that are following the Texans. But the Chiefs did what they're supposed to do, and that's what makes them relentless. They know how to play 4 quarters, and they play every damn down. They don't slow down. So I'm always impressed with a team that can start, that starts slow or doesn't do what they normally do early and finds a way to turn it up and find another gear next. And their defensive coordinator has done a hell of a job. And Andy Reid's got them believing they're the best team in football and know how to win no matter what, and that's important.
Well, you mentioned their defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton, doing a heck of a job. And I talked to Tom Bahali this week, and he had some pretty strong comments. He said, look, we've had some really good players on defense. Last year, just look at how many Pro Bowlers we had. The difference is coaching. And he said that across the NFL, look, there are good players all over this league, and usually the difference is coaching. Is that the biggest difference? I mean, can a defensive coordinator make that big of an impact on a team like this?
Yeah, and I believe there's good coaches. I believe there's some average coaches in the league, and I believe there's some spectacular ones, and the spectacular ones, and I don't think there's a lot of them. I mean, good ones, but I'm talking about the ones that are worth a game or two throughout the year, whether that's a head coach or a coordinator. There's a unique ability to get players to do stuff they don't normally believe they can do. Bob's done an unbelievable job, and I think one of the most, if not the most underrated defensive coordinator in the league. It's an art. It really is, to get players to buy in, number one, to what you teach, to get them to make an effort all the time. These are full-grown men for the most part. Well, some of them aren't, but grown men that, to get them motivated every day. And I know people say, well, they're getting paid that much money, and you're right. I agree, they should be motivated every day, but when you're playing professional sports, sometimes they're just not. And whatever that reason is, but to be able to keep them in a level in their head that says, I got to give more, that's a unique coach. I always believe on the other side that you can have a great coach with average players and you won't win much, but you give me great players with an average coach and they'll overcome average coaching. Great players will. I mean, Brady's going to overcome, if I'm coaching him, he's still going to be good. If Belichick's coaching him, well, then you got the best of both worlds. You got the best coach, the best player. So then you got championship, you got championship qualities, and you get a bunch of people buying into what you're doing. And I think Kansas City's doing that. And he makes a great point. They have good players. But what is it that took them to a different level? Is it just scheme? Well, scheme's fine and dandy, but eventually people figure out your scheme. So what's next? Well, next is how much more effort can you give when scheme's being blocked up, like last week against Houston Texans. Blocked it up well, didn't get to the quarterback, and all of a sudden, boom, 5 sacks in a quarter. Well, there's got to be something, and it's a player digging deep, giving more. It's a coach expecting more, and players living up to expectations. So there is a lot of good players. Jacksonville's got good players. Some of them are some good players. If they went somewhere else, they may be successful. There's some good players. Doesn't mean Dutch Bradley's not a good coach, but somehow, some way, and they don't have as good of players as the Chiefs or the Patriots or the Colts or the Broncos, but they've got some good players. But the key is the Kansas City Chiefs have more of them, and more of them is the fact that they're getting more out of these very good players, and Bob's taking good players and making them great, and taking these great players and keeping them at the level. I think that's as big a challenge as anything, is having great players stay focused for 60 minutes every week and keep them there. Not 25 plays or 40 plays, but 60 plays or 70 plays or 65, however many there are. And if you're willing to sell out and do that for your coach, you'll win a lot more football games, because the Kansas City Chiefs are talented. They're more talented offensive teams in the league. Them in Seattle are probably the most talented defensive teams in the league. But they're more talented on offense, but somehow, some way, whether it's Andy Reid or Bob Sutton on defense, they're finding a way to get out of people what others can't, and that's a sign of a great coach, and they do exist. Maybe not 1,000 of them, but they are around.
Sean Salisbury is our guest. At Sean Unfiltered is his Twitter handle. All right, Sean, the Cleveland Browns come to town noon on Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium. Jason Campbell will be the new starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. What do you think of Jason Campbell? And then tell me about this matchup, Browns versus Chiefs.
Well, this is a journeyman quarterback. It's amazing how many different combos people are using to try and find a quarterback, whether he's hurt or that just can't play very well because of, this doesn't know how to put numbers up and doesn't know how to lead a team. So, and the Browns are one of those teams going through it. Campbell's big. We've seen him all over, from the Redskins to the Raiders. The guy's got a good arm and he's athletic. Can he sustain it for 4 quarters? Does he have one of those games in him? Yeah, I've seen him with him. The guy has some skills and some gifts. But the question is, does everybody around him match it? Can he do it for 4 quarters? Will he be rusty enough that it keeps him down, or will he be able to wipe off some rust and go play against a great defense? There's so many ifs when you bring in a quarterback that's not your normal starter. There's so many ifs on that football team in the first place. And they're just, and one of the games in Cleveland, is that correct?
Kansas City.
Oh, it is in Kansas City. Okay. Well, there's another thing. I mean, now he's got to travel on the road to a hostile environment. You know, when you run into a quarterback like this, I mean, heck, nobody thought Keenan would keep in it last week, and he did. So there's those times when nobody expects anything. These guys are getting paid too. The Cleveland Browns are getting paid, and they will show up. They have a great offensive coordinator in North Turner, so he'll dial up some plays, and they'll make a few plays, but I just don't see how they can sustain it for 4 quarters on the road. I was going to say if it was home and inclement weather and they got a few breaks, but if it's in Kansas City, I don't give them much of a chance. I think the point spread's almost 10. Not that matters, but in games like this, Vegas seems to know something. But in a straight-up game, it's a touchdown and a field goal difference at least in my mind. And if Kansas City's playing well on offense, it could be worse. But the problem with a game like this, because these guys are pros and they get paid, they do have pride. And you may get one of those games where Jason Campbell, like I said, a big, tall guy who can throw it, and is semi-athletic, but doesn't move like he did when he first came in the league, but can still throw it, gets hot, and all of a sudden gets a few breaks. You block a punt, you win a game, those type of things, you win a game. In a game like this, you have to do something different, meaning the Cleveland Browns must return a special team for a touchdown play. They must intercept the pass and score one of those things, or hit the quarterback and, get the short field 3 or 4 times. If they're playing the long field the whole game or have to go 70 yards 8 times or 6 times, they're not going to win a football game. They're just not talented enough. But remember, pride can be an amazing thing. Embarrassment can be another amazing thing. And a quarterback getting a start trying to impress somebody can get on a roll and play out of his mind and keep you in games. This is the game where Kansas City can't sit back. And I guarantee Andy's telling them, don't take it for granted. These guys are pros. But a block kick here, an interception there, and you'd be amazed at what a special team or a defensive touchdown can not only do for momentum, but to keep you in games. So Kansas City's got to guard against, glancing over the shoulders of the Cleveland Browns into the next week, and the next week, and the next week, and the fact that they're undefeated. And remember, every game that we play, and the Kansas City Chiefs stay undefeated, every game that choke factor, it starts to creep up into their throat. Not that they're chokers, but that feeling of, then you start to play not to lose your undefeated season as opposed to win your next football game. And we're almost at the midpoint. The Chiefs start doing this. You start heading the second half of the season. Now they start to think, there's more than one pressure. It's pressure not just to win. Pressure is to keep everybody happy because we're undefeated. So a game like this can be dangerous. Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to lose this game, but if they show up to play hard. But you can, as you start to go along, trap games like this can be dangerous, especially when you keep looking at the undefeated scoreboard. That becomes pressure and more pressure every week.
Sean Salisbury is our guest. Sean, I wanted to end things with a story. When I read it, I thought of you, and I know that you had some things to say about it on Twitter. The Texas high school football coach that is being accused, the whole coaching staff being accused of bullying after his team won 91-0. He's watching game film, then an email pops up and says that he's being accused of bullying after an opposing parent filled out the district's online form accusing the coaching staff of bullying thanks to the lopsided score. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I could go off and yell and scream and do it. Anybody that hasn't seen, go on Fox 4 DFW and look at my 5-minute going off on this parent and how embarrassing it is. First of all, the bullying phrase is a very serious problem in our country.
Yes.
The word bullying, kids commit suicide. Kids are hanging themselves and killing themselves every day because of cyberbullying and bullying at school because they don't quite fit in, whatever that means. So it's a serious, serious offense when you accuse somebody of bullying, and it's a serious problem in our country with adults and with kids. So when you use that phrase, you better be damn serious what you're talking about. The fact that some parent is raising a kid to be a coward, and I'm not even sure it's the kid's fault, and I feel sorry for that family because the scoreboard has nothing to do with bullying. It has nothing to do with it. Your kid's self-esteem should be found in the home. They should be taught that losing a football game is called part of life. And we should keep score, and we do keep score. And you do get your ass kicked, and you do get punched in the mouth in life. And if you don't respond properly, you're not going to make it. And there's another Texas school now in Pop Warner, the Little League, that they do keep score, and not everybody gets a trophy anymore. They come up with a new rule last week where now you've got to win, and the team that wins gets the trophy. Everybody else, no participation trophies anymore. Thank God we got somebody finally doing that to send the right message, because I don't believe in the mercy rule either. I don't believe if you're in the 4th grade you decide to sign up for football, that your parents should be allowed to, the coach should be allowed to throw in the white towel in the middle of the 3rd quarter. It sends a bad message to your kid. Yeah, are you getting beat 60-0? Well, guess what? Sorry, that's the way life is. It should have been raised in the home. We signed up to play 4 quarters. We'll play them. In this case, in high school, you realize they have the ball in 91-0, and Aledo is one of the great teams around. You've got Division I players. Matter of fact, the running back for Texas is an Aledo guy, starting running back there. He's a sophomore, I think, or a redshirt sophomore or junior, one of the good backs in the country. He's fresh and new, but he was a great back at Aledo. So they get Division I players. They shouldn't have scared. I mean, he gets on the schedule, you got to play it. They took their starters out at halftime, played 3rd-string guys. What do you tell the 3rd-string guy when he runs the hole? Take a knee? Well, isn't he allowed to do his best to try him? Because his self-esteem gets ruined when he doesn't play. So the offense was, they had the ball for 7 minutes the entire game. They only ran 33 offensive plays. They threw the ball 10 times total. They scored 91 points with 33 offensive plays. Well, you know what? That's not bullying. That's called taking a butt kicking, and then you go back to the drawing board, you watch film, and you teach your kid, you know what? We're going to fight harder and fight harder because this is what life is. You're going to get fired from a job. You're not going to get, you don't get to go to Harvard if you don't get Harvard grades. And so if you play Aledo and you show up and you get beat 91-0, you go back, you watch the tape, and you fix it again. And they did everything they could not to run up the score. There's the better team. So to use the phrase bullying in a football game, how dare you? It's the wussification of our country. And in sports, we wussify everything to make everybody sure that they feel good about themselves. I wish that was the case when I slept in my truck at night when I lost a job. I wish that was the case, but it isn't the case for everybody. So teach your kids when they're 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, high school, that parent ought to be ashamed of themselves and people are killing themselves in our bullying. You took a butt kicking and learn to do it better next time and learn to take your losses with your games and your wins with your losses and your successes with your failures. The parent ought to be ashamed of themselves. Put your kid on the couch and let him play Xbox this whole time and throw pizza boxes at him and let him do that and pick up around him so he doesn't know that he's actually got to help himself in life. The parent ought to be ashamed of themselves. I could go on forever, but I won't because I've already done it. That's not the way you approach life. It's sure as heck not the way you approach football. And that coach did everything he could to prevent an even more embarrassing. They could have scored 180 on him if they wanted to. They ought to be grateful.
I thought you might feel strongly about that, Sean, so that's why I asked you. Hey, Sean, thank you very much.
Sorry, it just frustrates me because we're trying to do everything we can to raise kids' self-esteem, and it's not on a football field.
That's why I wanted to hear what you had to say. Sean, thank you very much for the time. We'll talk to you again next week.
Hope you guys get to your commercial breaks. Have a good one. Thanks.
Thank you. That is Sean Salisbury. Follow him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. We'll be right back after this on WHB and 38 The Spot.
Don't touch that dial. The Border Patrol will be right back on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Just filling out my application to become a big brother.
Doug is giving back to the community.
Once a week for a year? Can I take this kid out for a test drive, you know? Brothers. Big, little.
Now he wants to give it all back.
Leaning towards dumping my little brother.
What, did he pull a knife on you?
A knife would have been great. At least it would have ended the afternoon early.
Next, King of Queens.
See you next week.
Yeehaw!
Okay, 1 week down, 51 to go.
Watch today at 5 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
Free is good, and free is back by popular demand. Because right now, Time Warner Cable will give you free DVR service for 6 months with the triple play, starting at $79.99 per month. For this free DVR offer, call 1-855-WANT-TWC. But this free DVR offer ends soon. Get free DVR service for 6 months with the triple play starting at $79.99 per month. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC today. Remember, offer ends soon. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Now that I have Assurance, I can call our doctor.
Introducing Free Talk and Text from Assurance Wireless in your area. It's the best value in calling plans among major Lifeline assistance programs. Assurance Wireless offers eligible households a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month.
Now that I have Assurance, I can talk and text with no worries.
With Free Talk and Text, you get a free phone, nationwide coverage, and these calling features. It's a great way to connect to more.
Now that we have Assurance, we can keep in touch with our grandchildren.
You may qualify if you're on Medicaid, food stamps, or certain other public assistance programs.
It's a great value.
Call now to see if you qualify for free talk and text, a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month with no annual contract.
Call 1-800-833-8333 or visit AssuranceWireless.com. That's 1-800-833-8333. 1-800-833-8333. Call today.
As a former judge, I'm often asked, do I really need a lawyer? My answer is always the same. Absolutely. Studies show that on average, injured workers with a lawyer receive more than twice the settlement as those who go it alone. At Edelman & Thompson, we've handled thousands of injury claims and recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for our clients. The call's free and a lawyer can meet with you the same day. Know your rights, be protected, call Edelman & Thompson.
Family Guy presents Rules for Getting Along with Mother.
Mom! Ma! Mama! Mommy!
Show affection.
Thanks, Mom. I love you.
You too, honey.
Be supportive.
You're my favorite mistake.
You see, Meg? I'm the favorite.
And tell her how you feel.
Mom! Mommy! Ma!
What?
Hi.
Family Guy. It's a mother load of laughs. Viewer discretion advised.
Watch weeknights at 6 and 11 on 38 The Spot.
It's 5 o'clock. Time for Moe's.
My watch says 3, 4, 5.
Let's go.
Homer reprograms the plant's new robot workers.
I don't judge a robot by the color of their eyes. I look at their hands.
And starts a robot revolt.
It can only go 3 miles an hour.
I'm doomed.
Will they take over Springfield?
We'll be safely cornered in this glass room with one door.
The Simpsons.
Watch tonight at 6:30 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
On the next Community.
Knock, knock.
Is that you, Death?
Frida.
Oh.
Is Pierce lying on his deathbed?
Mr. Hawthorne is ready to commence his bequeathings.
Shouldn't you be telling that to an orderly?
He's gonna give us gifts.
Oh, cool. Or is he just lying?
I give you permission to weep.
I'm crying on the inside.
Now, Pierce's living will
I'd like to be bequeathed a signed photo of actor LeVar Burton.
will blow Troy's mind.
I'm LeVar Burton.
On the next Community.
Watch tonight at 9 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jake Gutierrez, I'm a man that wears many hats. And another man that wears many hats, it's Gary Lezak. With your weekend forecast, a very important weekend forecast. Gary Lezak, don't you understand that I have trunk or treat at St. Gabe's tonight?
No.
For the kids to get some delicious candies. And then tomorrow I've got the step-up walk for Down syndrome at Arrowhead Stadium parking lot C in the morning. And then driving to Columbia with my boys for Mizzou, South Carolina. And
Big
then
weekend.
Chiefs and Browns on Sunday, Gary Lezak.
That is amazing.
And also, Nate Bukaty has a... don't you have a quick tale to tell them or no? Or are you refusing?
Yeah, I'll tell him.
There you go.
I'll tell him this story. Gary, you're a health guy, right? You go to Vegas for these health expos and all that?
A health nut.
A health nut.
When I was in Vegas, I worked out every day.
Well, see, there you go. So you're always coming up with some new ways to try to maintain your health and unlock the key to a healthy life. How about this from the Mail Online? Are you interested in this? The man who drinks his own urine says it's helped him reach the grand age of 91.
Oh, come on, Nate.
Says he looks 10 years younger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Says it's helped him. Will you try that?
I'm not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I'll have a little coffee here and there, but no. Oh, goodness.
Juan Manuel Marquez does it. A great champion boxer says it helps replenish the nutrients in his body.
Listen to this endorsement from the very spry Mr. Ambrose.
We only have 1 minute left.
In terms of the taste, he says, not too bad, I thought. A peculiar taste. Nothing like anything I've had before. Not pleasant, but on the other hand, not too awful.
Little whang in it, though.
Yeah.
It's awful. Okay. Now, changes. Today is Stormy, the Weather Dog's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Stormy.
Sorry, you're going to speak, but she has her favorite song. She looks like a fox. She acts like a fox, but she's a dog. So let's play her favorite song.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow, bird goes tweet, and mouse goes squeak. Cow goes moo, frog goes crow, And the
Singing along.
You ready, Stormy? You ready?
Do it.
Wait just a second. Here we go. You ready?
Do it.
No one knows, Stormy. What does the Stormy say? Ding, 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 ding. Come on. Come on, Stormy. What does the fox say? Stormy. Please. All right. Happy birthday, Stormy. The forecast this morning, 29 degrees. 29 degrees right now. 60 for the Chiefs. 8-0. Big game on Sunday. We'll have all the details on 41 Action News. We'll celebrate Stormy's birthday at 5 and 6 tonight. Happy birthday to my 13-year-old dog, Stormy. And here's Ryan Wiebe.
Thank you, Gary. If you're thinking about buying a new home while rates are still low, give my team a call at 816-778-7000 or go to firstmortgagekc.com and fill out a full online application.
This is WHB and 38 The Spot.
You're listening to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You're looking to save some money.
On the next How I Met Your Mother, Lily is starring way off Broadway.
Asking someone to come see your play is like asking someone for a ride to the airport, or to crash on your couch, or to help you move. Call a cab, book a room, hire some movers, and repeat after me, friends don't let friends come see their crappy play.
Now, Barney puts on his own one-man show. Next, How I Met Your Mother.
Watch tonight at 10 on 38 The Spot for comedy.
Now that I have Assurance, I can talk and text with no worries.
Introducing free talk and text from Assurance Wireless in your area. It's the best value in calling plans among major Lifeline assistance programs. Assurance Wireless, a Lifeline assistance program, offers eligible households a free phone, 250 free voice minutes, and 250 free texts each month. You'll get nationwide coverage in these calling features. You may qualify if you're on Medicaid, food stamps, or certain other public assistance programs.
Visit AssuranceWireless.com or call 1-800-833-8333.
I am a helpful smile with local grown and homegrown produce. What we do is find the best local growers.
We'll contract with the best local growers right down the street from your store. It comes right from the farm to Hy-Vee.
Farmers you know, the people in your communities, we even have signs that tell you which farm it was grown on.
It's pretty much like a farmer's market in here. You can't get any fresher than that unless you pick it yourself.
I am a helpful, farm fresh,
sustainable,
local,
homegrown,
bringing you the freshest produce smile.
And that's my promise.
Are you tired of the fat and inches you just can't ever lose no matter what you do? Now you can get rid of it in just one day with Sono Bello, the nation's leader in total body sculpting. Sono Bello offers an amazing array of customized solutions to remove fat from your stomach, thighs, waist, arms, or chin. Just about anywhere in your body in just one day. At sonobello.com, you'll see some of the over 30,000 people who took control of their lives and finally eliminated that unwanted fat.
Sono Bello gave me a body that I never dreamt I would have.
At Sono Bello, fat removal, cellulite reduction, and skin tightening are all we do. That specialization makes our body contouring as much of an art as a science. With affordable pricing and low-interest financing options, Sono Bello makes getting a new you easier than you think. And with a center now open in Kansas City, eliminating fat has never been more convenient. For more information and to schedule your free, no-obligation body assessment, visit sonobello.com now.
It's your life, live it beautifully. Sono Bello.
Call Brown and Crouppen right now at 777-7777.
Family Guy. Fall Down Funny 5 nights a week.
Watch weeknights on 38 The Spot.
In the dusk of October's Eve, when the turning of leaves we do perceive, come tales from the Simpsons past. Tales to make the horrors last. Of ghosts and goblins and ghouly things and scary feelings that they bring. 38 The Spot has opened the door to tales from the Treehouse of Horror. Watch at 6:30 and 7 to see The Simpsons at their most spooky.
Right this minute, videos first.
Their relationship blossomed despite a horrible accident. Then the event they're attending takes an unexpected turn. See it all unfold on the next Right This Minute.
Watch tonight at 7 on 38 The Spot.
Thank you for watching the Border Patrol on 38 The Spot, Week 3. Done! If you like watching, then keep on listening to Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You've been watching the Border Patrol on 38 The Spot.